welcome to another video.
Today we are showcasing what we purchased in October, or hauled quite a lot again. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I have read this book. I own a paperback copy of this, but the other two books in the series I own in hardback, so I kind of wanted to have like a standardized
set.
Yes. The problem is that my paperback copy is signed by Holly Black, dedicated to me, so I don't want to get rid of that, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So yeah, someone was selling this on Depop, so I thought, you know, why not just get it? Usually when people sell the hardback, they sell it for like an insane amount of money, and this person was not selling it for that much. I was like, I'm just gonna get it while it's there. So thank you, whoever sold this to me.
The first book I got was 100 Most Important Women of the 20th Century. I saw this at like a secondhand bookstore and it looked kind of interesting. It seemed to cover a lot of people, basically, including people that I didn't know. So I thought it would be kind of interesting to take a look at it. It was kind of a purchase on a whim. But yeah, I mean, it's got people like Princess Diana, but then it also has people like Ruth Bader Ginsburg and people of color who I didn't know. There's a bit of a strange mix. I think it also has Madonna in it, which, like, okay. But hopefully out of the 100 women, I will see some people that are interesting. I think it has some like suffragettes and things. So
the next book I got was Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World by Benjamin Alire Science. This is a sequel to Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, which I read, I think, just before I moved here, so quite a while ago. And this sequel has been long awaited, obviously, because the book came out quite a long time ago. So yeah, this follows Ari and Dante after the first book. I don't want to like spoil it, I guess, but I mean, it's gay. I think this is also set not in the present. I think the first one is supposed to be taking place in the 80s or something, so I'm assuming the same thing with this one. Also, it's being turned into a movie by, I think, a trans director. Oh, so that's very cool. But yeah, I'm excited. I haven't been waiting for this book for quite a long time, so I'm excited to read it.
The next book I got was Afro-American Literature Poetry. This was actually from the same place as the 100 Women book. It just spoke to me. Kind of a cool way to see some Black poets that I don't know, or maybe some that I do know but would like to see a bit more of. I also quite like the cover. It just seems kind of fun.
The next two books I got was Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne and The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. There's something about John Steinbeck that makes me want to read his book. I have East of Eden by him as well. I have never read any of his books, but it's just like something speaks to me about them. And then this one, because I found a lot of other books in the kind of same series from Penguin, I thought, why not just get this as well? Also wanted to read this as well.
A lot of his books are pretty cool. I haven't read that one specifically, but I have read several of his other books, and they are all pretty fun.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to read this quite soon. I'm a bit surprised that there, at least in the UK, there's no audiobook for this. Yeah, there's Swedish ones on Audible, and I'm like, what? That makes no sense.
The next book I got was Collected Early Poems from 1950 to 1970 by Adrienne Rich. I have read some of her poetry and I liked it, so when I saw this, I don't really have that much to say about it because I haven't read it yet. It looks good. Some of the pages have been dog-eared, so hopefully that'll be like someone really liked those poems, so it'll be a nice thing to explore.
Yeah, you can make a comment whether if you agree with the dog-eared.
I like this one too.
The next book I got was The Iron Widow by Siron J. Shao. This is an Illumicrate, no, Fairloot, doesn't matter, one of the book boxes. So it has like some art underneath the dust jacket. Very cool. This is like, someone said it's like a mix between Handmaid's Tale meets Pacific Rim. Interesting giant mecha monsters, which I love. I love Pacific Rim. What a great movie, honestly.
Two things that you wouldn't think would go together.
I know, right? I think people seem to be liking it, but I don't know that much about it. But hopefully it will be good. Illumicrate exclusive. forget everything I said. I mean, it doesn't matter. I get both, so it's all very confusing to me anyway.
The next book I got from a secondhand bookstore that is only open 1 day a week.
Wow.
Why? How do they make any money? Who knows? Is The Contemporary American Poets, American Poetry Since 1940, edited by Mark Strand. This just kind of caught my eye. I was hanging out with my dad and he was like, have you ever read anything by Robert Lowell? And I was like, no. And then I bought this and he was like, look, he's right there. So now I will. I don't know. I kind of like, it's kind of a tatty copy. It was $1 and I'm excited to see what's in here.
Speaking of Illuminate, I finally got the 2 books in the Darker Shade of Magic series that I bought ages ago, and they've had like a lot of issues with the printer, but now they're here. Finally. Red copies. This is the second and this is the third book. I have the first one also in the red cover. And then I thought, because I have these special edition dust jackets, I'm gonna wrap them around these guys. I have not yet read the second and third book in the series. I read the first one and I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I do like B. Schwab. I'm sure I will like these.
From the same bookstore, also $1, I bought Invisible Lives, The Erasure of Transsexual and Transgendered People by Vivian K. Namaste. The language of the title is a little bit dated, I will grant you. We don't really say that anymore. But it was published in 2000, which is over 20 years ago, and that's a very scary thought. So I have actually heard about this book. I don't remember what I had heard about it, but I had heard about it. So when I saw it and it was $1, I thought I should just get it and read it, because I think it's kind of like one of the seminal books for the 21st century, when people kind of were inching towards acceptance a little more, although, you know, recent events have proven that we're not that close. But anyway, I haven't read a great deal of like trans theory and stuff, so it'll be kind of nice to read some more.
So I went secondhand shopping. This is from the Scoob Books.
Oh yeah.
It's close to where Gaze the Word is. If you're in the area, you can just go down there. It's in the basement, basically. So I got Middlemarch by George Eliot, inspired by sex education. I got another copy of the Iliad. Basically, I thought this copy was much nicer than the one that I got. It's the same translation anyway, so I thought I wanted to just get a copy that's much nicer. I got Orlando by Virginia Woolf. I have had a copy previously, and then I got rid of because I was moving or something, and I was like, oh, I just gotta get rid of all these books, and I'm sure I can find a copy of Orlando some other time. And I did. But yeah, and I really like the cover. It's quite cool. And then I got this. It's a selected prose poetry and Eureka by Edgar Allan Poe. Introduction by V.H. Auden. I think the selection is made by V.H. Auden as well. That's too funny to to not get. I just thought that was pretty cool. And I like the cover as well. I have only read The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe previously. Just like a classic horror story, I guess.
The next book I got was When the Light of the World Was Subdued, Our Songs Came Through, a Norton anthology of Native Nations poetry, edited by Joy Harjo. I found this in Strand, the bookstore in New York City. I just really wanted to get it. It just seemed like a really cool thing. I haven't read a lot of like indigenous people's poetry. I have read like 1 or 2. So I thought this would be an opportunity to really discover the breadth of what's out there, and then I can narrow my focus on specific people that I really liked. There's just not that many collections like this, and I think we should celebrate and support them when they do get made so that more get made. I will probably read this fairly soon.
The next 2 books I got was from the little library that's just down the road from here. I got A To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I have never read this book. And then The Folding Star by Alan Hollinghurst. I've been interested to read something by Alan Hollinghurst for a while, so when it was there I was like, I'll just take that and then we'll see if it's any good. I don't even really know what this is about. Gay people in the 1890s.
Sounds fun.
Sounds fun.
The next book I got was A History of Color by Stanley Moss. I read one of his poems in a collection and I liked it so much that I've been trying to buy his own collections ever since, and I finally found one, so I got it. I think he's an American poet. Something about the poem that I read really spoke to me. So I wanted to see what else he had to offer.
The last two books I got these at Foyles, I'm pretty sure. So I got How to Fail at Flirting by Denise Williams. I've heard this is supposed to be quite good. I think she goes to try and like get on the dating scene a little bit more, and then she ends up talking to this guy at the bar, and then I guess it goes from there. And then The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, which I had previously read, but I don't own a physical copy. But I want to, so I can like read it again and like make my own little notes in it, maybe. I was actually looking for physical copies of The Love Hypothesis and Charm Offensive, but I couldn't find it anywhere, so I got these instead. I was like, I give up now. I'll just get some other two romance books that I want to read and have read. So
the last book that I got, which was a gift from my dad, is The Fairy Queen by Edmund Spenser. I have not read this. It is in Middle English. I think it predates Shakespeare, so that'll kind of give you a taste of what the language is like. It's super long, as you can see, and it's all written in verse, which is kind of interesting. I have read like really small excerpts from this, and he dedicated it to Elizabeth. Apparently he spent most of his life writing it, and like he would send her each section once he'd finished it. Kind of a strange guy. It should be interesting to read. I'm just worried that I might die before I finish it because it's super long.
maybe you can find it as an audiobook.
Yeah, because they haven't standardized the spelling, and also in Middle English they interchange U's and V's and things like that, so it's difficult to read because you have to like really switch your brain to a different frequency, kind of. We'll see how it goes, but probably an audiobook would be very helpful.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I always say. Like, if it's too difficult to like, and then you can read and like physically read it at the same time as you listen. That's what I do sometimes when it's just like, this will be too difficult.
Yes, that's it. That's all that we bought.
Yes. A bunch of books.
A bunch. Yeah, you can't see the pile, but it is very tall.
Yes. A lot of books were bought. I'm a bit ashamed of myself, but anyway, what did you think about our selection this month?
Have you read any of the books that we bought? And what were your opinions on them?
If you read The Fairy Queen, you can
Let me know. Yeah, I had friends at university who studied it. That was a long time ago. Like, subscribe, all of those fun things. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Goodreads.
Where we are also Tessa Norland, and we'll be back soon with a new video. Hejdå!
Bye!
Pick up that book for me.